On January 19th, 2023, the U.S. government reached the federal debt limit of $314 trillion.
Saved $1 a day for a year. Do you know how much money you'd have? Roughly $30,000.
The debt limit is the total amount of money that the U.S. is authorized to borrow to meet its existing legal obligations.
Stop the cap.
That includes Social Security, Medicare benefits, military salaries, interest on national debt, tax refunds, and other payments. Once the debt limit was reached, the Treasury started to enact certain extraordinary measures or accounting maneuvers to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on its obligations.
Okay.
Janet Yellen announced the Treasury could run out of funds to satisfy all the government's obligations in early June. We want the debt limit raised or suspended before the X date.
What do you think I am doing?
The X date being the projected date of default. Failing to increase would likely have significant economic consequences. Yellen warned that it would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy, the livelihood of all Americans, and global financial stability.
You're a victim.
It would also cause serious harm to business and consumer confidence, raise short-term borrowing costs for taxpayers, and negatively impact the credit rating of the U.S.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So, where's the deal? Talk is good. June 1st is the circled date now. It could be June 6th. Bottom line, it looks like between June 1st and 8th. It could be the X marks the spot. What has to happen is one of three things to avoid default. Clearly, they need to get a deal, but the reality is even if they announced they had a deal in the next 25 minutes, the ability to get that deal through the House and Senate is something that will be tricky. They'll need more time.
Oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
So as a result, two things need to happen. One, Secretary of Treasury would have to come out and tell the world June 1st is firm, or we do actually have a week of wiggle room. She seems skeptical that we'll be able to get to the 15th of June, which is a key date because on the 15th of June, there'll be an influx of tax revenue.
Boy, drop out my card like it's urgent. Boy, don't get too close cause I might burn you.
Giving the Treasury a little more cushion to pay our bills. Two, if there's a deal already in hand, it could be a possibility, back against the wall, to avoid default, a short-term extension. It seems like it could be something that would work. If neither happens with a June 1st or 2nd date, to break the glass options, the possibility of the 14th Amendment, the validity of the public debt will not be questioned.
Oh, say less.
Other possibility is we have a default situation.
Emotional, damn it.
You and I can't make the decision we're going to pay our credit card bills and not pay our mortgage. If we choose one over the other, it's a default. And that's what it's looking like here. We'll have to figure out what debts and obligations to pay and which not to pay. Credit agencies will react. Markets will react negatively. How long this goes on will determine the impact. It certainly would do some damage. We've never had a situation like this before. Would they look at paying the interest but not Social Security or the military?
Who?
None of those options are pretty. There are many dynamics to an agreement.
What do you mean by that?
Spending caps, COVID clawbacks, $60 billion of COVID money that hasn't been used, new requirements for Medicaid, expediting the permitting process on oil, gas, and green energy, which aren't quick and easy agreements in those spaces. If we push back the date, I can't imagine them wanting to do this again in the spring of next year. They could be thinking about aiming for 2025. There'll be a lot of spending cap questions. 2024, spending 1% cap over 2 years, or 8% reduction over 10 years.
You're broke! You're poor!
T-bills and rate markets seem to be pricing in not getting an extension. When thinking, what does this mean for us today? Once we get a resolution, permanent or temporary, it works like quantitative tightening. $100 billion per month could be issued, and that would be double what the Fed's doing thus far. That could add to the expectations of a liquidity squeeze in the longer term.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
Looking at going forward is how to prepare for the risk of this T-bill exposure, market turbulence and debt ceilings, the impact on cash and cash alternatives.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
What you should do is find a financial advisor who aligns with your goals and have them look under the hood at what you own.
Stop it. Get some help.
Congress has historically always acted when called upon to raise the debt limit.
Oh my God!